Do something, Annie. Annie, something.
Well, we couldn't tell she had a little bit of weight, but she was very I did that once.
Oh man, that's how I learned that those things, the fashions were not covering babies.
I was in my
Covering
early
bellies.
20s, and I'd worked for her dad for a couple of years, and then I was up in Connecticut, and I ferried her. She came up to Yale to do a concert, Eddie West, and she had a little, and once we were waiting to get back in the train, I said, "So, are you going to make your dad a grandpa?"
So is she Don West's daughter?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a big, I think I can see 500 miles or something in the 60s. She used to play with,
yeah, she was pretty big time.
yeah, what was his name? The extra long banjo. She had one too. Pete Seeger. Yeah. She did tours in Germany with Bill.
How did Don West ever get involved with that stuff?
His mom used to play.
Oh, really?
They were North Georgia. Don blew off a few fingers when he was a kid. Dynamite. You got rid of rocks, you go to the hardware store and get dynamite and blow up the rocks to make you fields and stuff.
Yeah.
And he had caps or something went off and blew off some fingers. He was a great singer. He sang. If he was working, he was singing. If he was doing anything physical, he was singing. I mean, it might just be.
But he also got to be a kind of an activist. Right?
Yeah. He was a minister. Well, actually, in the 30s, he worked for the UNW. He got hired to go down to the lines and talk to the.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when they want to organize a union, they have to find out how. And so the UNW would send, okay, well, the first thing you do is you do this, and you sign a charter. And, you have to petition and get a vote. How organized to physically do it. And you couldn't come in from the outside.
Dangerous.
It really, yeah, it was.
I mean, he could have gotten more of it when his fingers blown off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he had one incident. He said, well, he was a minister. One time when he was a kid, he grew up in North Georgia in the mountains. His granddad had walked, and others from the county had walked the whole way above Mason-Dixon line and fought for the Union for 4 years. Came back home. Rayburn County flew Stars and Stripes every day of the war. Never flew Stars and Bars. And shoot, I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. So one time when he was a kid, he traded something at school and came home with a toy pistol. And his mom said, "You take that back, and whatever you traded for, it's gone." She said, "Now, a gun, rifle, you need. Go on a farm, you need that. That's how you get your meat. But a pistol is made to kill people. You do not have a pistol." And he remember the rest of his life. So he gets asked, I think it was Kentucky, they wanted to organize. So he goes over the mountain, talks to them about how you organize a union chapter in your area, the steps you got to do and all this. He's getting ready to leave, and the one guy says, "Here, take this with you." It was a pistol. He says, "Oh, no, he's a minister." He says, "We've had union guys come over, and we don't know what happens to them."
Yeah, right.
He says, "Just take it. I hope you don't need it, but if you have, well, okay." Well, it's old twisty mountain road going up, and as the mountain comes down, here's the road, and then the mountain goes down again. And he said his car comes up behind him, and what you did was you waited till a wide spot, and then you let him go around. So finally there's a wide spot, and he kind of pulls his to it. Well, as the car comes out, now he sees the car coming this way. He's pushing off his side. So bam, shoots his tire out, hits the gas. He made it home.
Wow.
I heard that when they had the Blair Mountain,
Yeah.
when they had those wars, that the Union guys would wear red bandanas around their necks, and that's where the term redneck came from. Is that?
Well, I've heard that, but I also heard prior to that, guys that worked in the South that worked outside in the sun.
Yeah, just their
You
necks.
got a red neck.
Right.
And
That's what I always.
It was the working man.
That's what I
It
always.
was a
thought.
redneck.
Yeah.
The southern working man was farmer.
It's just
Yeah.
coincidental.
But I think they did wear a red scarf to kind of identify us.
Yeah. So there was
Yeah, the Battle of Blair Mountain was a big one.
Yeah.
They got World War I ace, flying ace. Not too good. Anyway, the mine operators hired him to drop bombs on them. And what stopped it finally was the governor or somebody brought in the militia, and they planted the U.S. flag because of militia, or might have National Guard. Anyway,
I think it was the guard.
Where you said Pinkerton.
That's right, Phelps.
And anyway, the miners wouldn't fire an American flag.
Baldwin Phelps, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you may as well call something SOB if you use the word Baldwin Phelps in West Virginia.
Yeah, right.
It's worse than calling somebody SOB. It's not good.
Melvin,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's any kin to the rest of them.
I think distant.
Distant, probably, yeah. Phelps Park,
Yeah. Well, that was TJ.
that was, yeah.
But, yeah.
Shit, the boy sticking up in West Virginia.
Well, now,
Phelps Park.
about Matewan,
Yeah,
Sid Hatfield was he was descendant of the Hatfield McCoy, but he was high sheriff of the county, and he met him in the street, and they came in, and they said, we're going to be the law, and he says, I'm the law of this county.
right, right.
And he was there with the mayor and some deputies and some others, and there was 5 or 6 Baldwin fellas, and they had a gun battle in the street, killed 3, I think. They put on a flat car, and that flat car rolled to Cliffy out here outside of Galax, and that's where the bodies were on it till there, and that's where they unloaded them.
They dropped him off.
It was one of TJ's brothers and a nephew, and I think, can't remember, the other one was just a hired fellows.
When they went back and they took revenge.
Well, Sid Hatfield got called into court with Welch, it was Welch, in another case some a few years later, and he and 2 or 3 others coming up this, they had from the sidewalk, the steps went up to like a landing, and then went up into the courthouse, another set of steps up into the courthouse. And a couple of people,
This is sounded familiar.
they came and shot him right there.
Right.
You know, they were their wives and everything.
So that's a little Galax history.
Yeah.
Was it Napoleon back then, or
No, it was only Bonaparte. It
Bonaparte?
was only a Bonaparte for a few months.
Oh, is that right?
From
Why is that?
Galax was the 4th name. The first name was Montplain, which was just the architects that drew up where the streets would go in relation to the creek and the railroad track and stuff like that. And then that was fall of 3. In December of 3, they had their first sale of lots. They had it all platted out, and they lined out the streets, and so they're selling the lots. And for that, they call it Cairo, the new town of Cairo. And that was December. Okay, January 1 or something, the post office opened, and the post office called it Bonaparte. And it had nothing to do with Napoleon.
Right.
It was Charles Bonaparte, who was Secretary of the Navy. So I don't know where they pulled that one out.
I thought they got something for it.
And then in March, they changed the name to Galax. And the story is that one of the guys who worked for the railroad said, he was superintendent of this division. He said, why don't you just call it Galax? Because they were hauling Galax leaves out by the boxcar road. I said, just call it Galax. And it wasn't the first Galax.
Oh, yeah.
There was a Galax, North Carolina, that previously 3 or 5 years older. And
But they didn't establish a Fiddler's Convention, so
No.
nobody's heard of that.
well, it was
Does it still
actually
exist?
no.
I didn't think so.
The town does, but it was renamed. It was on the came to Clinchfield Railroad, and well, John Carter from Hillsville bought 3 railroads, put them together, and formed the Clinchfield Railroad. This was part of that, and this was late 1890s, and they named it Galax. They had a branch line going to Burnsville. Did you hear Burnsville?
I lived there for a little
Okay.
while, yeah.
Okay, well, it branched off at Galax, North Carolina, and it was on the Clinchfield schedules, I think, into the 20s. Then it was renamed Kona, K-O-N-A, and now it's been renamed something else. Now the branch gone to Burnsville, it's gone.
Well,
But it's down, there's a line going Spruce Pine. I mean, the town's still there, it's on its third name though, but I don't remember what it is.
I know Spruce Pine too.
Yeah, Spruce Pine is a bigger, it's kind of the bigger one, and then this is one of the little ones above that.
That's where they have the Walmart.
Oh, okay. But I don't know if they knew about Galax, North Carolina at the time, or
Yeah, the reason I ask is because if you Google Galax, you don't have to specify. It knows it's
go right away to
supposed to be
Virginia. Well, yeah.
like the weather, Galax, it's not Galax, New Mexico, or
Right.
whatever it is.
I wonder if you Google Galax, North Carolina, if it would pop up.
Probably,
or
there'd
something like
probably
that.
be a reference, yeah.
But I've seen on the old Clinchfield railroad schedules, timetables.
Yeah, they're still playing next door, maybe we can hammer out a little.
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, it's contagious. Yeah, how about,
You don't have to play a dance, you just decide to
I just soon, because I love dance tunes. That's why I like, Floyd is my favorite place to play, because of on Sundays, because of the dancers.
I probably played 20 years before I played this slow song, small walls.
Yeah. River Hill.
Okay.
here because I started this whole summer thing coming from Virginia, and Tommy started from home in Pearl Mills, North Carolina. So for a while we had 2 cars. So we left for the last 12 days. We left my car up the mountain, kind of blocking my road, goes up, makes a blind curve, and then goes down into the hop. And the shack is down the hop. But so I parked at the top of the blind curve, so no one else could drive up unless they were really good at backing up, which is a challenge on muddy when the track. Anyway, I went up to get my car last afternoon, late afternoon, and I got in and I'm coming down here and I see the light reflected. I have bear paw, small bear paw prints going up the back and coming down the side of my car. Didn't break the bike rack, so it wasn't that big.
Okay, walked over top of it.
Yeah, you can see them right in the park right down there. And I didn't have anybody to tell. He said, Tommy, you
I bet she's the only car in Galax that had bear tracks on.
And
Yeah.
I said I doubt it, but
Yeah, probably right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's the second thing with her car. The first thing was at Sparta, she was camping out and this tree broke off, huge tree. Three sections of tree.
3 sections of mountain maple, 3-pronged maple.
One of them broke off and it had a big old trunk.
Yes,
And
yes, like that.
Tips of the leaves landed right on the back of her bicycle rack on the back.
And I have the
Didn't expect
campsite
you to do
number.
anything.
I was supposed to have been the campsite that it fell on, but there were some guys there, already there, and they'd overflowed from their site into there. So I said, well, I'll just take the next one over, I told them. And those guys, I don't know how it all worked out, they jammed until 3:45 in the morning on Saturday, 3:45 a.m., and then they packed up and left. So it was 8 a.m. and I'm awake.
So it's empty?
It was empty. And I wake up and I hear this, it was a gentle sound. And I look and the cat's at my feet. I'm fine, so I think I'll go back to sleep. Then I hear all these voices. So then I look out. Oh my gosh.
Was
Tips
there
of
a
that.
storm or?
No, it rained hard in the night, but it was 8 in the morning when that happened. So it just brushed the tip of my rack, left a few little twigs on my bike rack.
So there's no visible cause of that thing falling. It just decided to fall at that time.
Yeah, I
We
was,
normally camp underneath that thing, so.
So lucky.
But I had to go to Texas.
Would it wipe those guys out?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they were.
Yeah,
they
they
were-
would have been right under it. I would have been right under it if I were in the site.
Well, 8
rack.
a.m., yeah, they'd have been, they'd have been sleeping.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I was up in Massachusetts one time and I was in the woods, there wasn't a breath of air. And then suddenly about 100 feet from me, this big hemlock just decided to break off about 10 or 12 feet off the ground. Just broke.
You could hear that big crack.
There was nothing, yeah, it scared you.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, what's going to cause that, but when I went up and looked at it, there's no sign of interior damage or, rot. It just decided to fall. Just
Well, we
slip
had a
and
neighbor's
fall.
pine tree. Took out the electric, but I thought it was rotten. Just
Just
decided-
went, yeah.
Didn't have a bad spot around. Well, at the end of
That's
the
funny,
lane there, where it goes into Coal Creek Road in Coleman. If you come to the Parkway on end of the lane
Yeah,
and you cross over that
Yeah,
little short one,
that little short one, yeah.
look to the right. There is a big tree
That's where we come into town,
that goes up, I'll say 20 feet, and it broke.
way up high.
Up here, it's still attached, but it broke. But it's at a 90 and it's hung into another tree.
Oh, it's a widowmaker.
Yeah, one of these days, that whole thing's gonna come down and it's gonna wipe out all sorts of stuff.
Why doesn't the Park Service cut up the trees when they fall down on the side of the road? They don't have no
Their
money.
budget's not so much. They don't have.
Oh, I know. We camped at Julian Price Memorial Park at milepost 297. And the campground lanes, the roads, I mean, they're just, the asphalt is rotten. And there's, you'll see part of one layer, you'll see part of another layer, you see a pothole.
And grass in between and stuff.
Yeah, but but
They had a brand new bathhouse.
built by the Blue Ridge Parkway Foundation,
Okay.
provided those funds.
Mm.
And boy, that was nice.
Shower.
Had 6 showers,
Yeah.
each one had a bathroom. It had a big dishwashing area on it.
Yeah.
Well, early odds, we worked, we formed Friends of the Fishers chapter, Friends of the Blue Ridge Parkway. Okay. And we built the trails around the music center. Okay. Well, Lester was head of maintenance, I think from the state line to like Rocky Knob, or it might be Cumberland Knob to Rocky Knob. I don't know if they paid attention to the line or what. But he had that. We ran into him probably 10 years ago. He retired at Lakeview, and we're talking. He said when he was head of maintenance, his division had 37. He had 37 people under him, to maintain the parkway. This is mowing, this is cleanup, this is trees, anything. He said, the winter time, anything. It's all maintenance. He says the guy has him now, has to let him.
Well,
Less than a third he's supposed to do.
Just as much work.
Oh, yeah, supposed to, but he can't.
Yeah.
And I mean, the whole way through, they've had, law enforcement. They don't let that out.
Our land comes from within 200 yards of Parkway property, and we have in our conservation easement that will allow trail. So there's that old Jeep trail.
Goes
It
through.
runs on ridge, yeah, it runs. And
The one that was
AT
at the
used to,
Oh, okay, where it used to be, the AT used to,
Yeah.
the original AT went there.
yeah, used to see the little symbols on the tree.
Mm.
18 went on that up there, Fisherman.
I don't
Oh,
know.
it's
Well,
it's way
I
west.
I think it went across Fisher Peak.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, and then
It was in the 30s, because I wrote to the Appalachian Trail and I said, I'm finding we're finding trail markers, and he is nowhere near here now. And I said, oh well, we had to move it in the 30s because there was, they said
Easement.
too much. Too much. It was
Too close to
too
Galax,
close.
too much
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah.
Well, actually, at one point, Main Street was at AT, right here.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was before or after this. They just had to take what they could to begin with.
Yeah, yeah.
And then gradually they got more land or
More right-of-ways or whatever.
more right-of-ways and stuff.
So now it goes to
White
Mount
Chalk.
Washington, does it go over Mount
Washington.
Washington?
In Vermont or New Hampshire.
And then it goes, where does it go up? You go
Kentucky.
west from Galax, what city
White
does
Chalk.
it go through?
I think it goes to White Top.
Damascus, and then
Yeah.
up.
We've got a
across
big Walker
White-
Mountain.
Yeah.
Walker Mountain.
It
That's
goes.
With county, that's with county.
Yeah.
Big Walker.
52, there's a thing in the road, and it crosses there, they have a little tower there, like a restaurant and stuff, I can't remember. There's a little community name for it, I can't think of it, but Big Walker goes up Big Walker.
No, yeah.
That's where the tunnel is, under
Yeah.
Big Walker, right?
Yeah. And my wife liked the group 73 or so,
Hmm.
and she said, Big Walker was just, it kind of got boring, it's just this long walk. It was kind of nice to walk, because everything else was like this.
Well, they originally were gonna run the parkway, they wasn't going into North Carolina, they was going into Tennessee, going down to the Gatlinburg area or somewhere, Knoxville or something like that.
Yeah, I think there's some politics involved.
Yeah,
I can't remember. Somebody
yeah,
told me.
head of the